Hi everyone, thanks for joining me on my first episode of Founders Friday. In this series, I'm going to be interviewing loads of different founders of tech startups and asking them kinds of loads of different questions. So thanks for joining me. Today, I'm talking to Ali Samar. He's the CEO of Segmentino. He's a serial entrepreneur and technology leader with over 8 years of international experience in Southeast Asia, North America, and the Middle East. He has extensive industry experience in artificial intelligence and machine learning. He is a strategic thinker specializing in the identification of new revenue opportunities to increase sales and profitability and to improve the overall customer experience. Ali is a problem solver and adept at leveraging best practices to help transform startups into the best in class. He's experienced in leading small to large cross-functional teams and driving towards a common vision. Segmentino, founded in 2018 by Ali Samar, offers an AI-powered marketing automation platform, enabling brands to integrate and personalize all of their channels and digital properties into a seamless customer experience. Segmentino's suite of tools enable marketers to deliver top quality content, high-performing campaigns, and consequently achieve superior results. Great to have you with me today, Ali.
Thanks for having me, Joe, and congrats on this new series, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
the intro. I'm ready for any sort of question that you might have, and anything that can help your audience.
Is there anything you'd like to add, first of all, about your experience in the company that you've decided to come on to talk about today?
No, that was pretty extensive, I would say.
Great.
Maybe we can jump into the question that you might encounter.
Yeah, sounds good. So, first of all, would you like to just tell me a little bit about your story? You know, what led you to start the company, and what was your goals when you first started out on this journey?
Totally. As you mentioned, I had my study from the undergraduate in the Malaysia, Southeast Asia, and I was very kind of like interested into the AI and machine learning. Beside that, I was kind of like count myself as a technopreneur, so I was always trying to look at how can I apply these sort of solutions into the industry needs. That was there was a lot of actually trial and error in different companies that I founded with my friends, also that I worked with throughout these past 10 years of my life, I would say.
Oh, great.
Most of them gave me a lot of experience in terms of what exactly needed in the industry and what we are sometimes like overthinking in terms of what they need and what they do need to have as a tools to increase their productivity and their output. So that was the time that I started the Segmentino. We found this niche that most of the companies are trying to acquire a lot of new users, but they don't think about the retention and the conversion rate of these existing clients, which usually statistics shows that it's 5 times more than acquiring new users, which costs an arm and a leg.
Right.
That's the point that marketing automation comes into the game, and Segmentino is one of those tools. There are a few competitors. Definitely, we are not the only one. But what makes Segmentino different from the other is the personalized content that it tries to provide. That's what I call applied AI. That's what I see the application of machine learning to increase the value for specific businesses that we are trying to use.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about the personalization and getting that, tailored campaigns towards the consumer. So that's really cool.
Indeed.
So you actually, you knew the people who you were going to start the company with from day one. Did you say you were working with the people in your career, and you decided to start the company with some of your, your work friends and stuff?
I would say let's try to work around a little bit because you don't have any assumption of what is inside the industry unless you go deep into the companies and try to figure out what is exactly their need, and what are the points that you can increase the value of a business with a very minor tweak. Sometimes you don't need to be very super creative on that.
Sure,
So
sure.
from the day one, entrepreneurship, it's probably gonna take you a lot of time to figure out what is exactly the market need, the market cap. But uh, yeah, I would say
Absolutely.
maybe jump into an industry that is um, very interesting to someone, and then try to dig in and see how, I would say personally, how technology can improve these solutions. Sometimes happens with a very, very, very minor tweak.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really interesting. So, what sort of ambitions do you have for the company? Where do you see the growth of the company going in the next few years, coming out of the current situation?
So the thing is that we recently actually raised with one of the biggest e-commerce in Middle East, and it happens actually a few months ago. And for now, we are trying to increase and highlight the value of Segmentino for the businesses, especially in terms of the personalized content. We
Yeah,
do have some patent pending that we are trying to announce in a few months, and we're trying to have the full cycle from the time that a person think about a brand and its product, and the time that it's come back to that website or platform to purchase or make some sort of order. So that is the full cycle,
right.
which
Yeah,
usually they call it lifetime value in the gross marketing, but they don't count it very well. We don't need to spend a lot of money to bring back some person into our platform or into the business cycle. So that is the whole cycle that we are trying to achieve. It definitely contains a lot of
mm,
pieces of puzzles, like the ECRMs, like the segmentation, like the campaigns journey, which we support some of them at the moment, but we're trying to make it as automated as possible and as smart as
yeah,
possible.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that is the main vision of Segmentina, and we try to be laser focused on that.
Great. Well, congratulations on securing that round of funding. Is that what you've
Thanks.
been focusing on a lot recently? Is raising capital, finding that capital to grow?
It has been, yeah. It requires a lot of energy,
I'm
but
sure.
hopefully I do have a tech co-founder who's handling a lot of the stress of the work as well.
Great.
Because for the past few months, especially like past half a year from the time that I'm talking to you right now, we've been focusing on the large enterprises,
Hmm.
especially in the Middle East and Southeast Asia.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was pretty difficult because in North America, in England, and other countries, in Europe, we do have these sort of needs that um, there is actually a need of caring of the existing customer. But
Mm,
in this part of the world, it's pretty new, and
right.
it was a little bit challenging actually to convince
Yeah, yeah.
the
Must have been.
businesses to come in to on board and jump into this journey. But it's been pretty good actually so far.
Great. So do you think that's a bit of a challenge then, that it's quite a new thing in your area, or do you see that as an opportunity? It's a kind of a place where there's an opportunity for you to take that area of the market.
You mean take the challenge to the area of the market?
Yeah.
What
So
was the exact question?
so you were talking about how your business hadn't really come into other companies who were doing a similar thing in your area. So
Yep,
do you see that as an opportunity? You would like to
indeed it is.
dominant player in that area of the market.
Indeed, it is. The reason is because whenever let me roll back a little bit, like
Sure.
for like a year from now, and definitely we were new commerce in this market, and we try to benchmark the big players. uh, the lesson that you've learned from them, the lesson that they paid a lot of money to come to that point, is definitely priceless for us. And right
Yeah,
after that
yeah,
point that you say that, yeah, yes, I can go head to head with this person, with this company, and now this is the time that I need to jump in and try to put the value proposition in my company. That is the
yeah,
place that definitely having a competitor, having a company in this region is pretty helpful. And we try to take advantage of that actually as well. For example, we recently announced a smart campaign, which is definitely based on the clients that have been used similar products, and they came to us with this headache that I do need some sort of features. So definitely we turn this challenge to an advantage for our company.
yeah, yeah. That's a really good approach. Really like that. So, have you come into any specific problems or challenges throughout the journey of your company? And how did you? What was your approach to overcome those hurdles?
Actually, there are a ton of challenges, I would say, in
Yeah,
the
yeah. I'm
entrepreneurship
sure there
journey.
are.
Yeah, there are, but and it's different based on different cases. Uh, but the thing is that what I love about these scale of companies is that at the beginning you have uh, a very agile team, which is
Yeah,
quickly
yeah.
pivot, quickly move forward in different aspect of the company. So that makes me very pumped in terms of like taking any challenge. You have a lot of challenges of raising money. You have a lot of challenge to the culture of the company, how to choose the right segment to jump into a very saturated, I would say, market, and very heavy, expensive
Right.
market.
Yeah, that's always
So
a
these are a
challenge.
lot of challenges. Yeah, but the thing is that having a very agile team and smile team, it's very easy to focus with like 10 people
Sure.
and some
Yeah,
sort of solution in compared to a very heavy like hundreds many hundred
that's
company.
true. That's the advantage of a startup is you can be quite flexible.
Indeed, indeed. So I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
say that that is the pretty easy on that. But for us, starting from a very unknown and unprepared segment of the market around the world was one of the very difficult challenges.
mm.
But that's put a lot of I mean, I would say a strong skeleton in our company that we
Yeah,
can
yeah. It must
easily
have done.
move to the other country. Because
Yeah,
when your client doesn't know exactly what problem you are trying to solve, but they do have this need company, it's very difficult to put this and match this actually two different point together.
yeah. So, did you learn any lessons from trying to overcome that challenge? Is there anything you
Yeah,
learned to prepare yourself for moving forward?
yeah. We let me give you a very specific example on that.
Sure, that's
We
great.
recently, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I would say, we changed our organization chart because of the lesson we learned. The reason is
Right.
that
Okay.
in any specific country, you need to talk in their language. You need to talk. You need to ask them money in their currency. You need to
Right.
localize your even your technical documentation. You need to localize for that. So in the past 3 months, we changed our organization in terms of business development of the other countries, and now we have sort of movement in this direction of changing I mean localization of Segmentino in Europe, for example, in England, for example, in North America, for example, and try to talk in their language and try to highlight one of our values that they need specifically.
Yeah, great. That's really cool. So, talking of great challenges and big hurdles for a startup, how have you had to deal with COVID-19? Has that had an impact on your day-to-day business? I'm sure it has. So, how has that affected you? The whole
It was a
coronavirus
it was a
situation.
positive, it was a very positive impact. I mean,
Really?
internally, yeah, it
Blimey.
was actually, I would say. Internally, we had the infrastructure of remote working. So from the day one that this virus has started spreading, we call our employee to start to work remotely.
Right.
And
Okay.
we had the infra, so nothing has been changed pretty. So everything goes very smooth. And in terms of the market expansion, it was actually very positive for us. The main reason is because companies were noticed this fact that I have to keep my connection pretty alive with the client that I have, every specific client. So we get a lot of requests that they want to automate a lot of campaigns and a lot of journeys in their marketing plan. So they need these sort of tools to start the marketing automation. And we noticed that companies are now aware of having a very personalized connection, especially when you don't have very preferences time. Let's say before COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
you know that like 7 a.m. in that specific time zone is probably the time that that guy is moving to his workplace. So, and
Right.
he's checking
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
email, email it. That was like very defined statement. But now it's very different. You don't know what time they wake up. You don't know
That's
when
so
they
true.
are working or when they're not. So
Yeah.
having these tools, especially in a smart manner, help to know that, let's say, for example, Joe preference channel to contact is push notification on the mobile, and he is usually like having response to this push notification 11 a.m. forward. So that's the algorithm that can select and send those specific messages.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's really interesting how it's affected you, because it's affected everyone very differently. But that's definitely the most
Mm,
positive response that I've heard so far. So I'm really happy to hear that.
sure.
Um, so I'm guessing that you've been in lockdown for a while now, and that's really cool that you've all been able to work from home and make that transition quite seamlessly. Is there any other kind of
Mm.
tips that you would give anyone for how to use their time in lockdown to their advantage, and how to prepare for when the world does go back to normal? What sort of steps should they take to prepare their company for that transition back into the real world?
We start to send out some sort of protocol in the day one of this pandemic to our employee. And one of the things that I've mentioned in that statement is that try to, now you have the peace time, now you are in your own
Yeah,
place. Try to step back and try to see the big picture, even as your standpoint of view to the company. What is our mission, and what is your specific block that can help the company move forward? We are really work as a very team instead of a company, so we don't call our people as the employee. They are totally team member.
yeah, sure.
And this is the statement that I ask everyone to give me feedback on that. So I got a lot of letter from my staff that they were put a lot of thought into how can I help to the business, even the strategic wise, or even the technical wise, or even the sales wise, etc. So that is probably what I would recommend to everyone as well. Even if the company doesn't ask you, try to step back and see the big picture. What are you
Definitely.
doing in terms of the commitment to your company, to your community, to your environment, to your country, etc. That helps a lot to go back to within yourself and see how you can improve yourself.
Yeah, yeah, and also just capitalizing on the advantage that you have as a startup. The fact that you're more flexible and more agile is definitely something that startups
Indeed,
should use to their advantage. That's really really
totally,
good. Um, so
totally.
I'd just like to talk to you about the sort of mission that you have for your company, and what's the sort of impact that you would like to have on the world.
The thing is that I was actually talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about what is specifically the meaning of marketing.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he was telling me that the marketing is a black box that you put in the input, and the process is totally a sales. I was not agreeing pretty well, because the thing is that I believe that um, different aspects of having a loyalty, having a love to a brand having those long queue of the Apple, etc., is not just coming from the sales, it's coming from the relationship of person A, which is a company in this case, and the person B, which is a client.
Yeah.
Having this very healthy, it's very difficult for enterprises and bigger scale companies, especially when you have a very large amount of audiences. So our vision is to automate this solution. Automate this relationship in a way that you feel that you are not getting spam emails, you're not getting spam messages, no matter what channel you are getting contacted. So this is exactly the place that I love to put some sort of impact, because that's you're always bombarded with these sort of messages from different channels, especially nowadays we have the IoT vision and having this sort of life cycle of going to the shop and etc. So that is the place that we can capture some person and continue moving forward the relationship and the communication. I love to put some sort of impact on this area. So that
would be really good. Yeah, because especially in this day and age, a lot of people's email inboxes and different social medias will already be getting quite a lot of different companies using marketing to try and reach them. So if you can help your clients to really cut through all of that and
exactly
and personalize their approach, that's definitely going to have a huge impact. Also, is there anything within the AI kind of research area that you're particularly excited about? Any area of research that is going to be the next big milestone that you're really looking forward to?
Beside what I'm doing in Segmentino, the energy segment is something that I love to explore always.
Definitely, yeah.
I also have a patent on that. Last year I was working on that solution, but I love to see the different area of machine learning that can put impact into the energy. More specifically, if you like, the energy storage is something that I can see a lot of different
battery storage and stuff like that.
Exactly, a lot of solutions coming up, and confidently say over 90% of them are required machine learning applications to have that up and running in a way that the humanity needs. So that is something that I follow always on the Reddit and etc. So
that's really interesting. I think the energy area is definitely something that is going to be crucial in the coming years, because all of the different emerging technologies are very, as you know, energy consumptive. And with huge growth in stuff like IoT, with all of the new connected devices coming online, the energy sector is going to be under a lot of strain. So I think machine learning and AI will be really, really fundamental in helping the energy sector to cope with all of that. That's really, really interesting.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of people know that as a startup founder, it is very demanding. You might have to work a lot of long hours, working around the clock. So what sort of advice would you have for a new entrepreneur who may be finding it hard to take that leap into starting a company? Do you have any advice for finding the drive and the passion to put in those long hours and really push for your dreams?
Having the goal always in front of your eyes, that is something that's very crucial. Very crucial, because as you said, this is very it has some downs in this journey. Absolutely. And the downs are actually very downs. So definitely you need your goals always in front of your eyes to keep you going. Just to correct what a word you said, it's not always the work around the clock. It's the matter of how productive even 1 hour that you put into your company.
That's actually a really, really good point. It's all about working smart, not hard, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Because I had this lifestyle of having like polyphasic sleeping during my internship back in the bachelor days, and it was like very hectic days, and I found myself like, no, that is not a way that I want to live. And you can feel that your body is not that appealing in terms of like continuing production.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, work is smart, and having the goals in front of your eyes is definitely something that keeps me personally moving.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. There's still a place for the work-life balance and making sure that you can carry on working without, trying to get a bit too burned out or anything. So yeah, that's really, really
Yeah,
key. Is
that's,
there anyone that you would pull out as a specific inspiration that who were your biggest inspirations when you were starting out and thinking about starting a company? Is there anyone that you learned a lot from?
Um, I mean, I'm usually not a person who kind of like admire a hero. I've tried to pick a lesson from everyone that I
Sure, yeah.
trying to read something or encounter with. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I can see the courage of someone like Elon Musk. I can see the smart work of someone like the Bill Gates. I can see the soul that you have to put into your company of someone like Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
But
yeah, the
I'm
real
trying to
success
kind of
stories.
like come up. Yeah, exactly. But what I'm trying to put is kind of like what is exactly Ali and what is Ali is trying to see. That is actually value. What is the matter of how you glorify this value and try to put it into your company? Because definitely the characteristic of a company is the characteristic of the founder. So
Yeah,
that is
that's so true.
what I'm
Very
trying
true.
to say.
Yeah, yeah, I really
So
like that. So
thanks a
just
lot.
before we finish up, Pal, is there anywhere that you would like like the viewers to check you out online? Where can they find you on social media and stuff like that?
I'm trying to be very laser focused on my company, so that's why I'm having some sort of social media distancing, except the LinkedIn. So I'm definitely available on LinkedIn,
Sure.
and I would be more than happy to connect with any of your
Great.
audiences.
I'll
And
put the
thanks
links
for having
up
me.
on the screen somewhere.
Thanks a lot, man.
Mm.
And thanks for having me in this very
No
first
problem.
episode.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, thanks for being the brave person to be my first guest. It's been really great
It's been a
talking to
pleasure.
you, and best of luck coming out of this situation and moving forward with your company.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. It's been a
Thanks. Have a
pleasure.
great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.